Well, today's been uneventful. Made my first stop for the morning at about 9:45. Get there. Don't have anything for me to take, so I'm just dropping off containers. Let my dispatcher know, and she's like, why? And I'm like, they said they didn't have anything to put things in to send them, so they didn't make anything. Or thereabouts, hiccups, however you want to phrase that. So that got me out of there early. Went around 465 there in Indianapolis. The joys of that stretch of road and all those impatient steering wheel holders. Because, 55 and construction's just too slow. I made my way up 65 up here to exit 201. I forget the name of this town right off here. It's Remington. Remington at 201. That Pilot, oh good lord, it's a nightmare getting in and out of there. I think I've brought that one up once or twice. I'll definitely add a picture for that one. Yeah, that Pilot is foobar getting in and out. Though they are nice and they give you 2 truck lengths of pull-up space so that like you can pull up, run in and do what you need to, and the guy behind you can still pull up. So it's enough pull-up space, but when people are being nimrods, it's no amount of space is enough. And then I'm over here on US 24, which when you get off the interstate, it's I think it's Highway 231, and it becomes US 24 once you get past Remington. Two-lane road, 55 miles an hour. It was crazy when I got off just past the Petro and the Pilot there. Apparently somebody was texting the driver or something because they wiped out a telephone pole. Like it was gone. And they had like a bunch of responder vehicles there to load it up. 2-lane road and heavy traffic. Though it wasn't too bad because that city right there kind of buffers it down. Yeah, it's a nice drive over here on this 2-lane road. Lots of farmland. When I first was running up here, I thought I was up by Watch West Work. He's a guy that does a YouTube channel. He's up there up by James Best, which I find it funny that 2 of my favorite YouTubers are like 20 minutes from each other. Wes runs a YouTube channel, but also a shop out of his house, and he works on local vehicles and equipment and whatnot. And then if you don't know, James Best is I guess you would call him a company owner, driver, because like he has a trucking company that's a 1-truck operation at the moment. And he's had drivers for him, but right now he's having to drive again because of situations that I don't know all about, so I'm not going to go into them. And I was like, hey, maybe Wes is up here in Fairbury, because I'm like, everywhere he drives looks just like this, which it's Illinois. The central northern area of Illinois all kind of looks the same when you get on these 2-lane roads, and it's farmland as far as the eye can see, with the occasional building and power line running through the field. Yeah, you gotta love these 2-lane roads and these cars that'll get up and ride your bumper. And no matter how much you slow down so that they're not in your blind spot, they just sit there. And everything short of like brake checking them, they don't get off. I'd like to live in an area like this. I can honestly say, I probably wouldn't mind living up here, but if it wasn't for trucking, I don't know what I would do for a living up here, because in all the spaces I go, there's not really a lot. So, I'm guessing if you're not a farmer up here, you're a farm hand or something, because, I don't see a lot of factories. I don't see a lot of warehouses. I see the occasional, would it be a gravel pit area? Because, it's not a quarry, or if it is, I can't see it from the road. But there's a lot of places up here, where they've got just mounds of rock and gravel and dirt. Which I'm guessing that makes sense, because a lot of minerals are found in rock form, and then you can grind them up and spread them, I guess. So I'm guessing that kind of goes with that. Again, I have no clue what I'm talking about. And if this phone mount didn't block my camera on the back of my phone, I'd probably show you. I can say I don't like about getting off at 201 and going west to Fairbury is how far in between these little towns are, and they go from 55 to 35 for a half a mile, which I get. You gotta slow down, go through a town. But what really gets me is all of them seem to have these signs that say Jake brakes prohibited. And I want to go y'all realize that Jake brakes are brakes, right? It's easier for a truck to slow down with the Jakes engaged when they're heavy. And a little bit of chugging from a Jake brake sounds a whole hell of a lot better than a truck coming through your front wall of your house. Of course, all these signs are probably put up because all these local grain drivers are doing 70 on these 55s, and they're having to throw their Jakes on full blast to slow down to go through the towns. And if you're a local farm grain driver, I'm not sorry. Everywhere I've been that y'all are assholes. Where I live there in Tennessee, going from Lebanon to Kentucky, grain truck drivers all the time wanting to do 65 and a 55, running my ass over, passing me on 2-lane roads. Or I've been in Kentucky, over towards Somerset, same story. Except those are actually the highway over there. But still, even once you get off the highway into the city of Somerset, they're 4-lane roads, and those grain drivers are still doing 60 and a 45. Y'all realize that y'all still have to do the speed limit even though y'all are under time constraints, right? The fact that you're a farmer doesn't get you a get out of jail free card. And I swear, for every time I hear a dude go, you worry about your truck and I'll worry about mine, or I'll drive my truck, you drive yours, I'll bring it up again. Dumbass. That thinking of driving is the reason we have so many accidents. You may know your driving skill. You may know your driving capability. You may know your machine's abilities. It's what you don't know is what's going to bite you in the ass. It's going to be that asshole that pulls out in front of you when you're speeding. It's that dipshit that spins out in the road because they were light and speeding in the snow or the water, rain. It's everybody else that you're supposed to worry about. Like, did you learn nothing when you had to read your manual to get your CDL about how to drive and why you're driving that way? And I will reiterate it. You are no longer super truckers. You no longer get that huzzah name. Oh, you're going to call me super trucker. I get a grin out of that. No, y'all are fucking steering wheel holders. Because you don't care. And whether it's because you've been doing this too long or you got too much ego in the game, I don't know, but y'all are fucking steering wheel holders. You are no longer super truckers. And good Lord, that's a temperature drop. I've had 75-degree weather all morning. I get up here close to Illinois and it drops down to 43. Anybody on these 2-lane roads that want to do 70, which yeah, I'm no calibrated professional speed detector, but I can say if you're flying by me like I'm sitting still doing the speed limit, you're obviously speeding. That's enough rant for now. I'll get back to it. Oh, unfiltered, if you get watched this far into this or whatever clip I put this in, thanks for the suggestion. I appreciate the feedback. There's the word I'm looking for. Feedback. Alright. Let's get out of here. Second stop done. Leaving now, but I figured I'd share my funny. And I gotta say, I think I pulled a reverse bonehead. Because everybody knows how Ike calls people that do stupid stuff boneheads. And a lot of the time it's the guys that drop trailers. Funny enough, here at Fairbury, where I have to back into a garage door to drop my trailer, there's an incline. Like you go in and it drops. Like I guess like a Walmart dock or one of those places where their docks are at the end of a slope. And I've got to back in, down the incline, line it up with the dock, and then I've got to drop my trailer. Sorry, I'm watching traffic. The 2-lane road I got to pull out on. And like I said, I got to drop my trailer. So I got out, I lowered my landing gear, unhooked my trailer, unhooked all my airlines and my pigtail, and I got back in the truck and attempted to pull out. Well, the way I have to pull out of this dock, I kind of have to put my foot on the brake and give it a little gas and then let off because my creep doesn't always work, and any amount of backward motion will relock my kingpin. So I've kind of had to work out this brake, hold brake as I push the release, put a little pressure on the brake, and then give it some gas and then let off so I can take off without rolling back. Well, what I normally do is I take my fifth wheel puller, I pull my fifth wheel, I go back in the cab, open my door, and I reach in and I hit my back drop. Guess what I didn't do this time? right. I didn't hit my backdrop before I got back into the truck to pull out. So I'm sitting there, giving it a little gas, trying to pull out, and I can look back and I can see my wheels spinning. So I'm like, oh, dang. It's a pretty steep incline. I'm not getting traction. Let me lock my diff and get both sets of axles spinning and let me get out of here. Well, I did that, and there's still resistance. And so I was like, all right, let me give it a little bit more gas. Maybe I need a jump. And as I'm pulling out, I hear the trailer drop, and then it dawns on me, Chris, you didn't drop your bags. You didn't drop your bags, Chris. All this would have been so much easier. But up here in Illinois, the yard or the dock guys said, hey, it gets slippery, so make sure you kind of get a little oomph going when you're pulling out. Otherwise, you're gonna sit there and spin. Because it's a flat parking lot, and then there's a little bit of a dip, and then it flattens out, and then it goes down into the dock because there's a drain right in front of the door, so that it doesn't drain into the building. Well, funny enough, well, not funny, but perk, I come here every week, twice a week. So I don't even have to go into the shipping office before I pull in. I just pull in along the building, hit one of the outside doors, go in, go down to my door, pop it, and then just back in. So that's a perk of going to the same place all the time. You don't have to go in and wait at the shipping office or shipping desk, whatever you want to call it. Because the first couple of times I came in, like, I would pull in and basically block the driveway getting in because of the side I pulled in, and run in, give him my paperwork, I'm like, all right, go door. And after about 2 weeks, he's like, hey dude, just pull up to the door. The door next to yours has an outside button, just let yourself in. So there's a perk of being a usual. You get to run in after you're done doing everything, because usually I'm in and out in like 20 minutes, maybe 30, depending on how early I get there. If I get there too early, I'm getting there as they're going to break, and it's like a 30-minute break. But it's the perks of going to this spot. Like, I almost wish I hit this spot first. Because, like, I could get here at, like, I think they open at, like, 7. Like, I could be there in the parking lot waiting at, like, 6:50. Heck, I could come here and park and be waiting to be loaded. Because the other stop, like, I can't get there until, like, 9:30. They open at 7, and I park 30 minutes down the road from them. And then I gotta be over here in Fairbury before 4. In reality, my appointment's at like 1, but the earliest I could get over here is like 2. If everything goes the way it's supposed to be, and the only time I can get here any earlier is when Richmond doesn't load me with anything, they just unload me. Which part of that, I think, schedule, like overlapping unrealistic time, is because of the time change. But that's something that has really gotten me a couple times when I was just in the moment of just going through the motions of, okay, I gotta get there at this time, I gotta be there before this time so I can get up at this time, so I can start my day at this time. I occasionally forget, hey, there's an hour change. Especially when I'm coming from Central to Eastern and I lose an hour. Like, I'll be sitting there going through all my schedules of times, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm good. I got this, and I hit the time zone change and don't realize it till later. And I'm like, well, how the fuck did I lose an hour? And I'm like, oh, time zone. Which the way the time zone goes across the country instead of up and down the country, because like where I live in Nashville area, we're in Central. If you go straight north from Nashville, you essentially hit Indianapolis or Louisville and Indianapolis, but you hit Louisville, time changes there. The time's already changed when you hit Louisville. You've already lost that hour, and it's like, what the hell? They're straight up and down. They're perpendicular with each other, or whatever the word is. Because I can't word today. Oh, this is not going to be fun. But just at 20,000 pounds, it's all in the nose of the trailer, and it's windy. Well, it's not all in the nose of the trailer, but it's nose heavy. I should have told her to spread it out. Like, I'm just looking at trucks come at me and I can see them leaning. And another thing, I've come to the conclusion, here at Fairbury, I'm like an hour and a half from Chicago, and for some reason I was thinking I was like 3 hours from Chicago. Because when I get off or when I go across 57 there by the Pilot, it says Chicago right, and then it says how many miles, and it's like 102 or something to that effect. Something there close. Don't quote me on any numbers or information. I am the definition of jack of all trades, master of none when it comes to information. Like, I know a lot of shit, but it's a lot of shit about nothing. Like, I am the guy that you want at the Pictionary game, because I might have that random question of how many months is the gestation period of a koala? And it's like 6 weeks. And then, well, not even that, because it's like a month, and then they crawl out and go into the pouch for the rest of the time, and I think that's another 2 months. Something off the wall like that. I'm probably close. I'm not 100%, but I'm close. Like, I am the definition of the redneck of like, hey, I need this done. Can you do it? And I'm like, give me a minute. And then I'll come back and I'll MacGyver this shit. Not the new MacGyver, the old MacGyver. We're talking the original MacGyver, like the guy from Star Trek, and I can't remember his name right now, but like I remember he played Star Trek too. So that MacGyver, the good MacGyver. The 80s or 70s or whatever MacGyver. Again, perfect example. Don't remember numbers. Off the top of my head, numbers are not my friend. Like, I have the information somewhere on hand, but if you ask me to recall from memory, not gonna work. Like, I have like not Tourette. I always say Tourette's, but it's not Tourette's. It's dyslexia. Like, I have dyslexia or whatever it is. Like, I transpose numbers when I'm thinking of them, so I'll give them to you out of order. Like, they might be the right numbers, they're just not in the right order. But it's only numbers, and it's only when I'm speaking them. Like, if you give me a set of numbers and you ask me to come back to you, if it's more than like 3 digits, I'm gonna make something up. Yeah, I'll be back in Matthew tonight, in Memphis in the morning, and home in Lebanon, hopefully before 3. Considering I'm running an hour ahead as it is. I'm usually not leaving Fairbury until 4, and it's just now 3 o'clock, so I'm an hour ahead. I'm an hour ahead of schedule. So that's working for me. I watched this guy Truck's video this morning, And I kind of got my hopes up because Josh said he was going to stop in Nashville to do a 34. Well, I was thinking, hey, he'll be there tomorrow because he's coming from Maine. But he left Maine yesterday and parked last night somewhere. So tonight, he'll be in Nashville tonight. Which really sucks. Because I'm like, hey, I'll meet up and say hi. Though he has to go down 40 to get to Texas. I might be able to run into him on 40, which would be cool. Like, if he gets up early and he's running, it's about 4 hours from Nashville to West Memphis. Like, I almost caught a wheel burner in West Memphis, but I missed him by about like 2 hours. Like, he was still coming down 40 when I left. And then we missed each other because he was I think he said he was talking about stopping in West Memphis. Another one of these 35 mile an hour for a quarter of a mile towns. I'm surprised this dude ahead of me is actually doing the speed limit. But yeah. And then James is going to be back on the road. He's apparently supposed to be leaving Friday, which is tomorrow, right? Yeah. I know I just got done talking about the days of the week, but yeah, that's my brain. Squirrel. Just think squirrel. From Up, the dog. Yeah, that's me. I'm Squirrel. And yeah, there ain't no way in hell that I'd be able to meet him, and because if he leaves Friday morning, and he does have that load in Texas. Hell, from Effingham, where I get fuel in Illinois, to West Memphis is just at 4.5 hours, and he's closer to Chicago than anything else, so that's at least 2.5 hours north of Effingham. Yeah, there ain't no way I'd meet up with James. And I don't really want to spend too much longer than I have to on Friday. Because I worked it out where if I get as far as I can Thursday night, I'm only driving for about 6 hours if I'm lucky Friday. Which, luckily enough, if I'm out past noon on a day, it automatically counts for per diem with my company. But it only counts as like half because I won't be driving for 12 hours. Or I won't be away from home. Or I won't be 12 hours from home. I'll be at my yard, but I'll be out past noon. So I'll get like half per diem. Whoa. I get to talk and I forget to breathe. That's why you yawn most of the time. It's lack of oxygen. Not because you're tired. Alright, I guess I'm going to drop this here and pick it up maybe when I'm getting fuel. Alright, ciao. Alright guys, I think this might be my last one for the day. I had the radio on, I've been talking to a couple guys. Just stopped and got the fuel at Effingham. Gotta say, it's one of my favorite pilots coming up here north in Illinois. Right off 57 at 160. It's a nice size, decent. They even got a little Verizon store inside. So, I ran into something real interesting on my way down from Fairbury to Effingham. There was a Toyota RAV4 or something similar. I didn't catch what the model was, but I saw the make. It was a Toyota. The dude had You know, like at the pilots and stuff, they have those signs hung up on those square tubing with the perforation for bolts. He had like 4 or 5 pieces of that running from his dash right up against the windshield, all the way through his car to the hatch. Okay. A lot of people would say, okay, big deal. He had stuff ran through his car. He was transporting and trying to get it wherever. My big whatever that I'm saying about this is the fact that he had a roof rack. The guy had a functioning roof rack. Like, all it would take is one hard braking, or for him to have to slam on his brakes, and those metal rack, or that metal would have went through his windshield, or cracked his windshield, or shifted. Did I see him? No, but there was always a possibility. That's why it's funny when you see people with pickup trucks and they've got lumber running out the back window across the dash. They have a bed. Stick it in the bed. I'm imagining you're getting the lumber from a hardware store or a Home Depot or a Lowe's. They sell rope. They sell straps. Like, come on, people. Use your brain. Don't run metal through the center of your car from your dash where it meets the windshield to your hatch. Put it on your roof rack. It's the perforated bar. You wouldn't have to worry about it sliding. You could just run a piece of your strap through the bar, and it wouldn't have slid back and forth. And then the strap would have held it on the roof. It's like, come on, people. Like, you're smarter than this. You really are. You're a lot smarter than this. Like, I don't know how many ways it can be shown or proven or explained to the people that are doing this. Intelligence isn't always your IQ score. Intelligence isn't always your test score. Intelligence, or really a lot of it is like freaking street smarts and just common sense. That's intelligence. But it's like, makes you wonder. This damn DJF or DIJ or whatever it is asshole that I see every week, and I know it's the same truck, he never uses his fucking blinkers. Like, jumping between lanes, plenty of traffic, never a blinker. And then he can't hold his damn lane like he is right in front of me, riding the white line over and back. And I know it's the same guy because he's got 2 giant whip antennas coming off his Kenworth mirrors. Like, they come up and they go forward, and then he's got one coming off the front of his fucking hood. Like right where the hood ornament or emblem would be, he's got a damn whip coming off that. So he's running 3 antennas for some reason. And I'm thinking it's one of those guys that puts them on his truck but doesn't run any coax, so it looks cool. Because I've yelled at him on the radio I don't know how many times, gave him the high beams, never says anything. Of course, he could just be one of those assholes that only turns it on when he's in a backup, because it's that backup radio. It baffles me, the people that are out here on this road. It baffles me. Like that guy right there. If you're up in Illinois running 57 north and south, you can't miss them. It's a big blue Kenworth, and it's like DJI or FJ, whatever on the side of it. Like, you cannot miss his dumbass for his 2 giant whips on his mirrors and the one coming off the center of his hood going back onto the roof. He's a prime example of a steering wheel holder. And I'll say it again. We're no longer calling them super truckers, because that's implying they're good at something. No. These assholes are steering wheel holders. Start using the insult that they use for everybody that isn't doing what they do back at them. Somebody that doesn't care about the speed limit. Somebody that doesn't care about the road conditions. Somebody that doesn't have the decency not to ride someone's ass while they're passing. Because, you know, like, we're supposed to have a truck's length of following distance. No, they're the guys that can fucking read off the damn tag on the door. The seal. They can read the seal numbers, how close they are. It's ridiculous how these people are out here on the road. And they come in all shapes and sizes, whether they're foreign, American born and bred, owner, operator, company guy. Whether they're in a Volvo, a Kenworth, Freightliner. Asshole is asshole. And don't get me started with the guys that'll ride your ass for like 3 or 4 miles because they get up right behind you and then they take 10 minutes to pass you. Those are the next ones I'm going to be griping about. Like, if you can't pass me when you hop out in that lane, stop trying to pass. Yeah, you got the speed to ride my ass, but it takes you a fucking 1.5 years to pass. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. I might do one more video for the night, try to get this one out tonight so it's out in the morning. But again, thank you, Unfiltered, for suggesting. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm going to take a page out of Josh's book and try to shoot one of these out once a day or maybe every other day. It's just a short clip. This damn bull hauler about ran me off the road. I swear these assholes have